hotspots, checking out the damage inside the home, but we were able to speak with the homeowner as soon as we got on scene. She told us that she believes it started on the first floor and they heard a fire alarm and quickly got out of the house. Right now, the family does not know the cause of the fire, and that's what fire investigators are working to find out right now. Again, still a very heavy presence here at Birdwatch Lane. Still don't know the cause of this fire, but a lot of damage. The homeowner told us that firefighters told them that the fire went up to the second floor and then out the back. So obviously a lot of damage up at the top there. But of course, we'll continue to stay here on scene and keep you up to date with what we learn here with the fire investigation. That's all coming up on WCNC Plus starting at 7. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Destiny, thanks. Majestic?
Let's get a final check on our roads this morning as we're heading out the door for your Tuesday. Most of us, we look all right. Still a lot of green out there. Some delays starting to build. This is going to be our newest accident. It's an accident right there on the ramp. So I-85 north at I-485. So this is on the west side of Uptown. Exits 30 to 29 will be a delay just a bit. Another one, Brookshire Boulevard at Mount Holly Huntersville Road. This one is still not completely cleared, but not seeing any big concerns. Live camera look. This is I-85 this morning, mile marker 29 out near Sam Wilson. Becoming a little bit more busy. We'll be following those traffic impacts over on WCNC Plus from 7 to 9. Chris.
And here we go, 81 degrees. This is how we end the month of March. This is overall the third warmest March on record. Temperatures in the lower to the mid 80s the next few days. Our next best chance for rain Friday, and it looks like a solid chance for rain for Easter Sunday, so keep that in mind. Cooler behind that front, though, back to the 60s next week.
I'm told the Easter Bunny doesn't mind the rain.
No.
That's the good news.
It's like the mailman.
Those
rain or
kids
shine.
out hunting.
Right. That's right.
Bring an umbrella. Make sure you join us streaming live on WCNC Plus. We'll be there starting at 7 a.m.
Thanks for joining us here live right now at 7 o'clock here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington.
We begin with breaking news in Uptown. Right now, CMPD is investigating a shooting at an apartment complex on West 5th Street. It's near Johnson and Wales University.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live at that scene on the West 5th. All right, Richard, what have you learned?
Yeah, just in the last few minutes, we can see if Ruben will push in there, and you can see where that garbage bin is. The reason I'm saying that the scene is pretty much clear, these officers are just here. We did find out that someone on the 3rd floor had stepped out of their apartment here at the MAA Gateway Center, or apartments, I should say. This is right across the street from Johnson and Wales, and actually, for some reason, was shot. That person lay on the ground. He was talking, alert, talking to some people. We actually heard from a couple of people that heard him speaking before he was taken away. It had something to do with trash. Now, that was on the 3rd floor, but they roped off this trash bin down here on the 1st floor. Officers they swarmed the areas. If you look at video, this all happening early this morning, a little after 6 o'clock this morning. Now, what we can tell you is that, of course, they evacuated the residents. They've been allowed to go back in. There are still officers here, but we spoke to a number of residents, and here's what one had to say about this whole incident. Take a listen.
What'd you see?
The cops at someone's door. I think they're probably just getting them out.
5 o'clock in the morning, you just heard a bang, and then literally heard a guy say the F word and out, 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 out. I thought it was outside, but someone just told me it was in the parking garage. And I don't know how he wound up on the 3rd floor. The whole 3rd floor is getting evacuated, and he was only one doorway down from me, and he was just laying on the ground saying ow, and I think somebody was helping him.
Yeah, and we heard from another resident that man was a 66-year-old who just had his hip replaced. I asked, did he know this person personally? And he said no. That's what that victim was telling the person who was actually applying pressure to his wound. He was taken away by ambulance to the hospital. Of course, we'll keep getting updates from CMP exactly on what happened here, where that suspect, or that person who was the shooter is, and the condition of the victim. Once we get that information, whenever we get it, of course, we'll bring it to you right here on the Plus and all of our platforms. Right now, we are right here off of West 5th Street. This is Richard Devane. We'll send it back to you.
Richard, thanks so much for that live report. Also breaking this morning, Charlotte fire on the scene of a house fire in Northwest Charlotte.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards now live at the scene on Birdwatch Lane. Destiny, what's the latest?
Yeah, this fire is completely out, but still a heavy fire presence here on scene. Firefighters were able to get this house fire under control within 20 minutes, but as you can see, a lot of damage, especially showing on the roof there. They had a ladder that was up earlier. They've since retracted it. Right now, we just see a lot of firefighters doing work inside the home, trying to clear the debris, make sure there aren't any hot spots that could spark this back up. But we're told that there were no injuries to firefighters and the family is okay. We were actually able to speak to one of the homeowners. She was very emotional, so she asked not to be on camera. Here's how she described what happened.
Ran to get the fire extinguisher, but the fire was just coming too fast. So we all just ran outside of the house and just so we could get out safely and just watch the fire just.
Yeah, that was Danielle, obviously very emotional about this. She also says that her dog is missing. So dog missing, the entire family okay though, no injuries in this fire. And the cause is still under investigation. I asked her if she knew what could have caused this. She said she does not. So still a lot of investigative work to do here. We still have a heavy fire presence, so it may be a while before, this is completely a cleared scene, but we'll continue to watch this. We'll continue to follow the fire investigation and bring you the latest from the house fire here on Birdwatch Lane. I'll go ahead and send it to Chris.
Thanks a lot, Destiny. Check this out. What a beautiful day. Lots of sunshine, clouds mixing in. More sunshine than yesterday, to say the least. It's also warmer than yesterday for that fact alone. And also, it's a little bit warmer start. 58 degrees right now in Charlotte. We did slip down to 57, but already we're starting our upward climb. So we'll hover around this range for about an hour. And then here we go, on the way up to about 81 degrees here in Charlotte. Really a range, I think, about 80 to 81 for most of the area, and most of the day looking like this, but at times you're going to add a few more clouds to the equation. Today actually feels more like May 19th, not like the last day of March, where this has been really a historic month all in all, the third warmest on record, and we've had 3 record highs during this time frame. So we are going to end the month as we started it with a above average day. We're also heading into a warming trend to start off April as well, which is also going to finally give us a better chance for rain. The big thing that we've been absent of, moisture. Now, I'm not going to say it's overly humid, but we are adding some extra moisture and then a few systems that are going to drive up our rain chances. Still pleasant and bearable, meaning that we are adding a little extra stickiness to the air over the next few days, but you really don't notice it and start to feel it until Friday. And then that consequently is also going to be our next best chance for rain. We could see a brief shower chance, mainly during your Wednesday evening. And then again, we could see it over the weekend on Saturday, but it's more so Friday, Sunday, Easter Sunday, and Sunday night. So here's what our next rain chances look like. Number 1, the mountains. You have a chance for a brief rain, likely either a trace or maybe a couple 100ths of an inch. So not a big deal there. All in all, mostly sunny to partly cloudy today. By tomorrow, we're picking up more clouds throughout the day, and we have a chance for developing showers and storms the further west that you go. This will take a while to get to the Charlotte area. It's really not until about the early to mid-evening hours. I think a lot of this is going to fizzle out, so not a guarantee. The further east you live, the less likely you're going to see anything. And then more clouds and more moisture come back for your Friday. So I think Friday afternoon and Friday evening is the better chance. But this one is the most widespread. Once a front starts squeezing into frame, it's going to arrive at some point on your Sunday. There's still a lot of question marks. Is this going to be more of an afternoon to evening event, or is it going to slide into your Easter Sunday? So what everyone needs to know, the earlier the better right now is the general forecast trend. But regardless, you're going to have a sizable rain, or at least a chunk of a few hours that we will have rain for your Easter Sunday. And that cold front will eventually cool us down, and it's also going to pick up the winds. But at least we're warmer in the meantime, lower to the mid 80s, a couple of drops to the mid to the upper 70s, depending on the rain chances. I would say Saturday is the pick of the weekend, and even though we fall to the 60s next week, still shouldn't be too bad. A little bit more March-like for the end of week number 1 of April. All right, let's get right over to Majestic. A lot of random things happening in the traffic department.
I think that's exactly right. It is I-77 right here that you're looking at. This is 708 right now, so you can see cars are flowing just fine. I do want to switch it over to my traffic map. As you can see, there is a couple of things that I want to mention. So we'll start with this big picture perspective. For the most part, we're not seeing anything too majorly concerning, but we do have a couple of minor ongoing wrecks. This one here is our newest one. It's at Steel Creek Road right there at South Tryon Street. I'm noticing a lot more orange here, indicating that cars are being impacted by that crash, just moving a little slower than they typically would be if there wasn't a crash. This second crash is on the west side of Uptown. It's an accident on the ramp I-85 north at I-485, so specifically exit 30. We are seeing some backups though, about a mile up to mile marker 29. And then the last one is right here, Berkshire Boulevard at Mount Holly Huntersville Road, seeing minimal delays as they're continuing to fix that, and they're continuing to push that car over to the side to at least get it on the shoulder. I-77 near Clanton looks like this morning, flowing nice and smooth. Ben.
We're following the developing news right now. One person seriously hurt after being hit by a car in East Charlotte. It happened last night on Central Avenue near North Sharon Amity Road. Medic tells us that one person was seriously hurt. We're working to learn what caused that crash. CMPD says an arrest has been made in a South Charlotte stabbing, all thanks to tips from the community. Marvina Hardy is accused of stabbing a pregnant woman in the parking lot of the Harris Teeter in Cotswold earlier this month. She was found in Florida and now faces several charges. Detectives say the stabbing appeared to be random and Hardy did not know the victim.
This morning, a woman remains in jail without bond following a stabbing in Uptown. 28-year-old Carissa Walker is charged with assault with a deadly weapon causing serious injury. The incident happened Sunday at an apartment on West Trade Street. Right now, Belmont police are asking for your help to track down a suspected bank robber. Officers responded to the State Employees Credit Union on Wilkinson Boulevard around 12:30 Monday afternoon. Police say the man demanded money but did not show a weapon. They believe he ran out of the credit union and got into a gray or silver Nissan sedan heading toward Gastonia. If you have any information, you're asked to contact police.
A mother demanding answers this morning after a frightening mistake left her 8-year-old daughter alone on a school bus.
That young girl who'd fallen asleep eventually woke up alone and found help from a stranger to get home. Her mother says she already notified school leaders about a change in dismissal and now wants to know how that message was missed.
I was scared, but then when I woke up, I was on the bus and nobody on the bus. And the bus driver left the door cracked open.
My daughter could have ended up in the hands of the wrong individual.
The mom says this could have ended up much worse. She is urging the school to improve its safety protocols and to ensure that drivers double check for students so nothing like this ever happens again.
Today, the governor's highway safety program launching a new initiative focused on young drivers. The program will teach teens how to safely handle traffic stops and interactions with law enforcement. Officials say the goal here is to improve safety for everybody involved and build trust on the road. Speaking of safety roads, this week you may notice more police officers on the road. Officers across North Carolina stepping up patrols and stepping up checkpoints to catch people speeding. Something they say is a serious issue here in our state. For some perspective, last year more than 300 people were killed in speeding crashes, and just 2 months into this year, 41 people have already died. 7-Eleven right now on WCNC Plus. Gas prices surging past $4 a gallon amid the escalating strikes in Iran. What could happen next as those tensions spike? President Trump now threatening Iran's civilian energy and water infrastructure unless Iran agrees to key U.S. demands.
The escalating threats and continuing attacks come as the White House says negotiations toward a deal are going well. NBC's Alice Barr reports.
New images from the war with Iran, with the U.S. military Central Command posting video of strikes on Iranian vehicles and aircraft, not saying when or where they happened, but noting they're targeting the regime's ability to project power beyond its borders. That as these new photos show a U.S. Air Force radar plane heavily damaged in an Iranian strike on an airbase in Saudi Arabia Friday. Several American service members were injured, according to two U.S. officials. The White House ramping up the pressure on Iran.
Their best move is to make a deal, or else the United States Armed Forces has capabilities beyond their wildest imagination.
That includes a threat from President Trump to target civilian infrastructure by obliterating Iran's power plants and oil wells and possibly water desalination plants if Tehran does not agree to demands by next week, including abandoning its nuclear ambitions and reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
They are making threats about controlling the Hormuz Straits in perpetuity, creating a tolling system and the like. That's not going to be allowed to happen.
President Trump also telling the Financial Times he would like to take Iranian oil and may seize the nation's biggest export hub, Karg Island. And even as 3,500 additional U.S. troops arrived in the Middle East, President Trump insists great progress has been made toward a deal, revealing one of the Iranian officials he says the U.S. has been indirectly communicating with is the country's hardline parliament speaker, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf.
These folks are appearing more reasonable behind the scenes privately in these conversations.
Conversations Iran denies are happening. Despite the buildup of U.S. troops in the Middle East, the White House says President Trump has not made any decisions about putting boots on the ground in Iran, a move lawmakers in both parties have made clear they would want to weigh in on. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Fuel prices are soaring worldwide as the conflict in Iran continues. Right now in the U.S., the average price for a regular gallon of gas is just above $4 a gallon. That's the first time since 2022. According to AAA, the national average is now $4.02 per gallon, up more than $1 since the conflict started. Here in North Carolina, the average price is $3.84. In South Carolina, it's $3.70. Dozens of people who were at the Capitol during the January 6th riot are now suing the police agencies that defended the building. 46 plaintiffs are seeking more than $18 million, claiming physical and emotional injuries from law enforcement. The lawsuit says tear gas, other chemical irritants, and police weapons were an excessive and unjustified response to the events that day.
The man accused of killing Charlie Kirk is asking a judge to delay his preliminary hearing. Ty Robinson faces a capital murder charge for the deadly Utah Valley University shooting. His attorneys say they still haven't received tens of thousands of files, DNA, ballistics, digital evidence from federal agencies. The hearing set for mid-May, with a judge expected to rule on the delay in April.
A live look at Uptown right now. When we come back, Chris is going to have the WCNC weather impact forecast.
Welcome back, everyone. So officially, I have declared today a shorts alert where temperatures in the lower to the mid 80s. So enjoy that. Something to get excited about. Many of the kids have already probably been asking if they can wear shorts. That's what Lisa has been saying, at least. And I know JT is going to be wearing shorts today as well. Also, decent amount of sunshine. We're going to have a high UV index for today. Still high for tomorrow. Even turning over to very high range. And it's this time of year that we're anywhere from about a 6 to an 8, which means that if you have fair skin, burn times could be as much as 30 to 45 minutes. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, another big thing about this time of year, you know what it is? The pollen report. And it's usually about this time here on WCNC Plus. I like to let you know what's bothering you. Now, over the weekend, and this is not a side brag or trying to make anyone feel bad, but I don't have the typical allergies, but there's always a certain level, and even Lisa was mentioning this earlier, that even the not typical allergy sufferer can start to suffer once it starts to hit that peak. And we've been having that on and off throughout the last, I would say, week or so. And the same thing is going to go, especially if you have prolonged time outside, because this is the peak, my friends. It's typically the last week of March and the first week of April that we have our highest levels. And for the first time, I have a list of allergens, all trees, that the list is so big that you have this tiny text. So pine, oak, ash, sweet gum, mulberry, maple, birch, willow, walnut, pretty much all the major trees that are here in the Carolinas are currently popping up to that high level. It's not technically extreme today, but hey, close enough. Now, the biggest driver of that is the winds. Whenever you have a constant wind gust up to 30 miles per hour, that likely is going to be one of your worst allergy days. Luckily, we don't have that in the near term, but we will start to see some spikes. And the good news is we finally have some rain chances, which is going to temper some of these spikes. But still, our pollen report at a high today. Anytime it's at that high range, you're going to be feeling the difference. Down to still a medium high, I would say, by tomorrow, because that looks to be the least windy day that we have on that extended forecast, at least in the short term. And then we'll have another big spike as the winds start to pick up on Thursday, and then still around a high to an extreme level for your Friday. And Friday does have a better chance for rain. That's one thing that's going to help us out. And for your Easter Sunday, well, I guess the best news is at least maybe some of that rain is going to wash away some of the pollen, but it could also dampen some of those outdoor plans that maybe some people have. But one thing that is definitely shifting, the wind direction, mainly keeping us warmer, but also the moisture is starting to blast in. So oftentimes it takes multiple rains to finally start to crack over from that drought status where drought feeds drought to more of a consistent rain pattern. And that's exactly what we can see, as you can already see by day 9 and 10, more of those scattered rain chances are sticking around. So at least we have more rain chances than dry days. So that's very good news. Meanwhile, our low temperatures are going to be extremely mild in the 60s in the short term before we see that cool down. Also, our high temperatures lower in the mid 80s before we're back to the 60s for a little bit Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. All right, Majestic has had a wide range of things happen this morning. She has an update for you.
Good morning, everyone. Let's get a look at what we're looking at on my map. I want to show you first the map because we have our typical delays coming in, I-77, I-85, but a couple of new ongoing problems. This one here is going to slow you down. This is on I-85 northbound at exit 23. We're seeing those backups and delays right there through exit 20. That's New Hope Road. So if you take I-85 inbound, make sure you have plenty of drive time to get to where you need to be. This is out in Gaston County as you're heading towards Lowell, Belmont, that area there. Another thing to mention, this is out in Still Creek. There's an accident right there on Still Creek Road at South Tryon Street. I am seeing some yellow starting to really develop in all directions, so just a few extra minutes would probably be a good idea there. And then there's an accident right here on the ramp. This is I-85 northbound, I-85 north at I-485, so really between exits 30 and 29, you can see that stop and go traffic there. That's going to be something important for you to know as you're heading out the door this morning, and still not completely cleared. This crash right here at Mount Holly, Huntersville Road, where it intersects at Brookshire Boulevard. Guys.
7:24 right now. Singer and actress Brandy honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame Monday. Take a look. With a career spanning 3 decades, Brandy, one of the best-selling female singers of all time, also created a defining presence on TV, starring in her own sitcom, several films as well. Today, she releases her new memoir named Phases. Congrats to her.
Good for Brandy.
That's right. All right, live pictures right now over Uptown. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus.
Well, good morning. Check this out. Temperatures starting off in the mid to the upper 50s and a decent amount of sunshine. A lot more clouds, less clouds than what we had yesterday. Loving that sunshine across the board. 81 for a high today. So what an end to the month of March, which will finish as the third warmest March that we've had here in Charlotte history. Maybe you're eating some tacos, whatever you're eating later on this evening. Well, temperatures right around 80 degrees come 6 o'clock, only falling to 73, which was our high temperature yesterday by 8 p.m. Going forward, our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast lower to the mid 80s over the next 3 days, but we will see a drop off in our temperatures for your Friday. That's our next best chance for rain, but I think the best chance for rain, sadly, our Easter Sunday once that cold front clears. Temps back to the 60s to begin next week. Okay, Majestic, tell people how they're beginning their morning commute.
We have lots of issues that are ongoing that I'm covering for you over on WCNC Plus until 9 o'clock this morning. But here's something important to know before you head out the door this morning. It's right here. It's an accident on the ramp from McAdenville Road to get onto I-85. The southbound lanes right there currently closed because of a crash. So we're continuing to follow that. Here's a live camera look. That fire truck just moved away from that area, and another slowdown on I-85.
Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. We continue to follow breaking news in Uptown. Right now, CMPD investigating a shooting at an apartment complex. This is on West 5th Street near Johnson and Wales University.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live at that scene on West 5th. You've been there for quite some time now. Richard, what's the latest?
Yeah, police still on the scene, not as active as seen as earlier, but I'll step out of the way, let you take a look. There are still a few police officers' cars here as they continue to investigate this early morning shooting. We were told by a neighbor, not CMPD, that a man said he stepped out of his apartment and there was somebody near a garbage can. This all happening on the 3rd floor of the MAA Gateway Apartments, and that man was shot. The reason that I know this is because residents were telling me that he was talking to to a person who was actually applying pressure to him. We spoke to a number of residents about this scene before they were let back into their apartments. Here's what they had to say. Take a listen.
What'd you see?
The cops at someone's door. I think they're probably just getting them out.
5 o'clock in the morning, you just heard a bang, and then literally heard a guy say the F word and out, 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 out. I thought it was outside, but someone just told me it was in the parking garage. And I don't know how he wound up on the 3rd floor. The whole 3rd floor is getting evacuated, and he was only one doorway down from me, and he was just laying on the ground saying ow, and I think somebody was helping him.
Yeah, and also someone else who was standing by the man as he was being helped said the man said he was 66 years old, and also that he had just recently had his hip replaced. He's been taken to the hospital. We're working to get his condition at this moment. As for the person who might have shot that person, or the shooter, I should say, police have not released any information on whether they have that person in custody, but we can tell you from the number of cars, they have pretty much evacuated or left the scene, and they have allowed the residents to go back in their apartments. So we'll continue to work on updates, and when we get them, we'll present them to you. We're right here on West 5th Street in Uptown. This is Richard Devane. We'll send it back to you.
Richard, thanks. 7:32 now. Also breaking this morning, Charlotte fire crews are on the scene of a house fire in northwest Charlotte.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards now live there on the scene. This is over on Bird Watch Lane near Mount Holly Huntersville Road. Destiny, what's the latest?
Yeah, this house fire is completely out, and now the investigation is beginning. Right now we have firefighters on the scene, not inside the house at this time. A few of them were earlier, but still a lot of assessment just going on right now. We also saw the homeowner who we spoke to earlier being taken to the back of the home. And so it's likely right now that they're just, meeting together and trying to figure out the cause of this fire, which is still under investigation. We're told the fire was under control in 20 minutes, and they were able to have no injuries to the homeowner, to the family who is here, or the firefighters. That homeowner, we were able to speak with her. She was very emotional, but here's what she had to say.
Ran to get the fire extinguisher, but the fire was just coming too fast. So we all just ran outside of the house, and just so we could get out safely, and just watch the fire just.
Yeah, so right now we're still just following the investigation. Right now, she says she doesn't even know what caused this fire, just that they, again, saw the fire outside the window when they came downstairs. But we are seeing a lot of that damage on the house this morning. Again, fire completely out. She says she's grateful she and her family got out safely, but their dog is missing right now. So definitely a heartbreaking situation, but they're glad to have their lives. We'll continue to follow the fire investigation here at the scene, but for now, I'll send it back to you, Lisa.
Destiny, thanks for that. New right now, police in Monroe say a man threatened his ex-girlfriend, then fired shots outside her home. Officers say Jorge Bonilla then took off from that scene in Monroe. He was later arrested at his home, where investigators found the firearm they believe was used in the shooting. At last check, Bonilla is still in the Union County Jail, facing several charges. In just hours, safety on public transportation will be back in the spotlight here in Charlotte. Today, a subcommittee of the Metropolitan Public Public Transportation Authority is going to meet to discuss future changes.
The Operations and Safety Committee's job will be to oversee the safety, the reliability, and accessibility of Charlotte's transit system. At today's first meeting, they'll review everything from security and emergency preparedness to overall service delivery. There'll also be an update on the Federal Transit Administration audit from February that flagged several areas for improvement.
CATS sent a corrective plan to the FTA and is now working through the feedback. The meeting is mostly about building that foundation for the new committee, and this is just the start of that process, with more decisions expected in the weeks and months ahead. Today's meeting starts at 9 this morning. The next meeting is scheduled for April 16th. The city of Charlotte is working on its next budget, and today you can get the chance to weigh in on how city leaders will spend your taxpayer money.
City officials say community feedback is critical, especially as they decide how to fund key priorities like housing, public safety, transportation, and job growth. Neighbors can weigh in a few different ways, including budget listening sessions set for today and an online survey open through April 6th. The Orange County Sheriff's Office tells us that the Secret Service is now investigating a South Carolina woman accused of threatening President Trump. Investigators say last week they became aware of several social media posts made from her home in Greer that appeared to threaten the president and his supporters. We're told they determined there was no credible threat. The person who made the post on social media previously lived in York County. At this time, no arrests have been made.
Today is the last day for Mecklenburg County residents to apply for energy assistance. The Low-Income Energy Assistance Program offers one-time payments of up to $500 to help cover heating costs. Now, you don't have to be behind on your bill to qualify, but there are some income requirements. Officials say more than 4,500 households have already been approved. Check back in with Chris now for an update on the WCNC weather impact forecast on this Tuesday, the last day of March.
Oh, it was a glorious March. It was actually more like April and May, but hey, this is a record-breaking March in ways that have made the top 5 for the warmest on record. And we're seeing some avenues of clouds starting to move in. Still lots of sunshine to begin the day. So on and off, you're going to have some streaks of clouds. They'll start to move in. But not over here in Lylesville. Beautiful. Just a lot of those upper level clouds. So yeah, really mid to upper level clouds are going to accompany us through your Tuesday. High temperatures in the lower 70s here from Blowing Rock to Boone. Temperatures pretty uniform from the foothills down through the Piedmont and the I-85 to even I-40 corridor. 80 degrees in Taylorsville, 81 for you in Charlotte. And very similar in the lower 80s down here towards the south. So nothing too crazy for a big temperature difference because we're getting a nice dose of that sunshine. On and off, you are going to have some chunks of clouds, making it a little bit cloudier for some. But I think most of the day is going to win out with some sunshine. You're seeing a few blips of green popping up here. I don't think that's really going to be a big deal. The only chance for rain that I see for all 22 counties that we cover here is maybe a intermittent shower in the middle of this evening. I don't even think it's umbrella worthy if it does pop up, but more so later tomorrow. So first we see it early to mid-afternoon for the typical 3 counties, Avery, Watauga, and Ashe County. But then it's right around the Asheville area that these showers and storms could start to form some outflow boundaries and then develop a few storms and push their way off towards the east. However, I think east of I-77, we don't have nearly as much activity. I'm just going to call for the mid to late evening hours, pretty much after the sun sets. We'll have a chance for a passing shower of storms. Keep that in mind if you have any outdoor activities that you're going to be doing. High pressure system off towards the east. Highs are great for giving us a nice sunny forecast. But when they're positioned just further off towards the east, that's usually set up what's called the Bermuda High. That allows for more of a southern and southwestern push that allows for a lot more moisture to join us. So that's the good news. So that's going to increase our rain chances finally. We desperately need this. We're kind of in desperation mode because officially the data is going to conclude today for a drought monitor for the map that we see on Thursday. It's not going to be good. It's going to be heading the wrong direction, deeper into that severe and extreme threats that we already have. But luckily, we do have 2 sizable rain chances coming up. So for your Easter weekend, we have a chance for rain on your Saturday and then again on Sunday. Coming up, I'm going to show you a little bit more detailed look exactly what that Friday rain chance and what that Sunday rain chance looks like. But regardless, your Easter is going to have rain at one point. It just depends on where that front is going to slide and decide to move in. And it will be much cooler back in the 60s and even some lows popping down in the 40s, but no freezing temperatures early next week. All right, Majestic has another update of our morning commute that is on the active side.
Let's get to it. Good morning, everyone. This is a look at I-85 out near mile marker 28. That's out near Morse Chapel. This is just a screen grab of what we're looking at. Beautiful start to the day. And of course, it is getting busy out there. We have the typical delays coming in from areas like Huntersville, Cornelius. We have the red really starting to pop up there. So if you're heading inbound, nothing new. If you're coming in from South Carolina, slow moving conditions on I-77 heading towards Uptown as well. Again, not anything new. One thing that we are watching here, this is going to be I-85 inbound out in Gaston County. There is a reported accident there at exit 23. We're seeing some of those delays up to New Hope Road. So that's exit 20. I would allow for a little extra drive time to get to where you need to be if you typically take I-85 inbound, or you can even take Highway 74 instead. But as you can see, both 74 and I-85, they are going to be busy for your Tuesday morning commute. This is the most important thing that you need to know as you're heading out the door. We'll have another check on those roads coming up soon. Ben.
As we had a break, here's an exclusive shopping deal for our viewers.
Hey everybody, here at ShopTVDeals.com, we love to bring you products that actually are going to make life a little bit easier and save you money. Sometimes a power wash is really the best thing, but let's face it, it's a big machine, it's loud, it's clunky, all those hoses and cords, plus to get the pros to do it, it's really, really expensive. So why go through all that drama and all that trouble? You need this right here, the Zippy Hydro Cleaner. It's a gun-shaped portable power washer. You literally charge the battery like a cell phone, you slide it here, into the base. And you have a ton of options here. You have a canister that you can attach to the cleaner so you can put in your own cleaning solution, whatever works for you. Plus you have options when it comes to the attachments right here. You can get a precision spray or even a wide angle depending on what you're cleaning. You can connect all of this to your garden hose, but you also have other options. You attach this filter, you put it down in any kind of body of water whatsoever. You could do it in a tub, you could do it in a pool, a lake, doesn't matter. You put it down and all of a sudden you have a water source that moves with you, and you can do your tires just like that. So think about cleaning your sidewalk, your deck, your patio, even siding of your home up here. This thing reaches 30 feet in the air. It has a great strong motor on it to get even the toughest of places. Siding, gutters, downspouts, doesn't matter, it does it all. Get this thing now, it will make such a difference. Scan that QR code or check out ShopTVDeals.com.
The time is now 7:44. Rising gas prices are putting the squeeze on food truck owners, forcing many to rethink how they do business. Owners say higher fuel costs and warmer weather mean running generators longer and filling up more often, cutting into already tight budgets. One owner in Arizona says the heat is making everything more expensive to operate, especially when trying to keep products cool.
Cost-wise, everything becomes a little bit more expensive to run. Your generator's going harder. You seem to go through just more fuel in general just to keep everything cooler.
Now, many small business owners say they are looking for ways to cut costs just to stay afloat as prices continue to climb. Well, the support of our troops, a nonprofit organization out of Ada, North Carolina, worked with some Girl Scouts to donate tens of thousands of Girl Scout cookies to soldiers.
Chris Cook spoke to Girl Scouts and soldiers who showed up to bring some joy into the lives of U.S. military.
Girl Scouts work together with Aiden police officers, volunteers, and even active duty military to donate tens of thousands of Girl Scout cookie boxes to troops. Staff Sergeant Neil Simon is active in the Army Reserve 362nd Quartermaster Battalion. He said people don't understand how much stuff like this brightens up a service member's day.
When they get these care packages, soldiers, it's like part of the home coming to them, especially the ones that are abroad.
In addition to the cookies, volunteers made care packages with toiletries to ship out to different branches of the military. One of their volunteers said it's awesome to help.
Because, like, all the people that are overseas and don't get to see their families a lot, we just, like, spread love all across the world.
The boxes are a combination of donations from the Girl Scouts organization itself and boxes that other people bought to donate. A Girl Scout I spoke to said she likes to picture service members opening the care packages.
Well, that makes me feel really good because Girl Scout cookies are just so good, and it feels nice to have this little sweetness in their life.
Barbara Whitehead is the volunteer director for Support Our Troops North Carolina. She said it's especially important to remember the troops right now as the country faces war in the Middle East.
You know, it's hard when you're a dad and you're away from home and your girls, their birthday parties, their soccer games, Christmas, Easter egg hunts.
Chris Cook reporting for us there. The Charlotte Fair has a week left, giving families just a few more days to enjoy the fun before it wraps up. Visitors can check out everything from the rides, games, things like pig racing, petting zoo, live shows, you name it. If you're headed out today, it's Toucan Tuesday. Get a discount by bringing donations for foods for pet supplies. The fair opens 4 p.m. this afternoon.
Summer is back at Dairy Queen. The restaurant's summer menu is live right now. It includes the return of 2 fan favorites and 1 new Blizzard flavor. The new flavor is strawberry angel food cake, and the 2 returning are s'mores and cotton candy.
I tell you, Blizzard.
Right?
It hits right, especially when it's hot outside.
A hot day.
All right, Chris.
And a shift from ice cream to taters. Today is National Tater Day. So I ask you this question. What country is known as the potato capital of the world? A special hint about this place, it actually grows over 4,000 types of potatoes. I didn't even know there was over 4,000 types of potatoes until about a month ago. Poland, China, Peru, or the United States? Which one of these 4 is the potato capital of the world? The answer coming up after the break. Okay, welcome back, everyone. So I actually learned this from one of JT's classmates' dads. What country is known as the potato capital of the world? Is it Poland, China, Peru, or United States? I will give you a fun hint. This guy is from this country, so maybe that will limit at least one of these.
Wait, what? The guy is
the guy where I got this answer from.
That
tells you too much.
I don't know. C, Peru.
I'm going to go with Poland.
One of you is correct. Lisa Washington, very good. It is Peru.
Okay.
Good job. Yeah, so it's Peru. They have over 4,000 different types of potatoes. They also have a delicious dish known as causa, which actually has this yellow potato, and then they can couple it with avocado, different types of chicken. So
see, here's the thing. Stop. If you're going to be doing this, we need to have these dishes to try, right? Don't tell us about that.
All right. Well, maybe I can either have him or his wife come in because I was promised more causa because he showed me this wonderful dish. So maybe I can get them to come in as well. He actually works for Charlotte here. So let's do it. Okay, moving on. It's also National Crayon Day, National Bunsen Burner Day. Don't know how you're going to celebrate that one unless you're a chemist or doing anything, maybe a science teacher. Then it's also National Prom Day. Now, this is earlier than you think. It's just that National Day designated, there are many people who will start thinking about getting prom dresses. So there you go. We are also looking at a pretty decent day today overall, 81 degrees, high temperatures reaching the lower 80s by the last hours of the day. But as you can see, we do have some clouds that are going to be mixing in, and right now we're actually looking at a variety of some cirrocumulus, but mainly those are some altocumulus clouds out there, those little teeny cotton ball-like clouds, but a beautiful shot that you can see there across the area. So I really like the way the day is shaping up overall. But coming up, I was really going to talk about the rain chances that we're going to see. And first things first, in order to get rain chances, you need moisture. You need something to drive it all up as well. So if you couple those two together, that's going to be a better rain chance. And for the first time in a while, we actually have a stickiness to the air that's going to be there on Friday. And if you correlate that to our day and nighttime rain chances, Friday is our next best chance for we have almost scattered to even a widespread chance for a rain or even some thunderstorms. Now Sunday and Sunday night also have the same similar rain chance. We're not up to that it's going to rain status, but we're going to actually be pretty close. So I want to show you exactly what this is going to look like. Rewinding to your Friday, we see some moisture that starts to dig in. So even though this long-range model is a little bit chunky, it does show that by the end of the day, I think we're going to have the necessary lift to allow for some showers or storms, and then it fades out. But notice this, that widespread band of rain that you're seeing here is a cold front. So this is Sunday morning. You're starting to see it starting to sneak in the area. So it's going to go one of two ways. Either we have more of a morning and afternoon type of rain for your east before it clears out, or it's more afternoon and evening. So that's the big question to answer. But regardless, it's going to rain for your Easter. So really temper any outdoor expectations. At least it'll be a little bit warmer in the 70s, starting off in the mid 60s. Okay, let's get right over to Majestic for another look at our active morning commutes.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. If you're just waking up with us turning on the stream, we do have some accidents to highlight. We have our typical delays. You can see it shaded in areas of oranges and reds. And in addition to that, we have a couple of ongoing wrecks. This one here's been ongoing for about 20 to 30 minutes, and it's still an issue. We're seeing a lot of red now, which means stop and go traffic. This is I-85 northbound, so heading towards Charlotte. This is at exit 23. We are seeing some backups to exit 20, so New Hope Road. Another one still pretty active with delays coming in all directions, especially from the north. This is going to be Still Creek Road right there at South Tryon Street. And then this is still also not cleared. It's an accident, but it's on the ramp from I-85 north to get onto I-485. So seeing those delays really between exits 29 and 30. I-77, of course, moving definitely slow as you're heading out the door. And then Independence inbound, much of the same, but no active crashes to report. Guys.
Majestic things. Today in women's history, we remember the life and legacy of Selena Quintanilla, who was tragically killed on March 31st, 1995. She was just 23 years old. Known as the Queen of Tejano music, Selena broke barriers for Latina artists and brought Tejano music into the mainstream. Her music and her style made her a cultural icon whose influence is still felt today. In the years since her death, her legacy has continued to grow through films, music, and a devoted fan base. All right, 7:55 now. Time for us to take a quick break, but keep it right here, streaming live on WCNC Plus.
Well, hello there. Another update weather-wise. We have some thicker clouds that are pushing in, but all in all, I think sunshine's winning out for the day, more so than yesterday. It's already warmer than yesterday. We dropped down to 57 degrees for a low so far here in the Charlotte area. We're already done with our lows. 60 degrees is our current temperature. 52 for you in Lincoln, 56 over in Hickory. A high of 81. Yesterday, we only got up to about 73. 81 exceeding expectations, so quite a warm end to the month of March. Just as warm as we began it. Up to 84 for the first day of April, your April Fools, and then 83 on Thursday. Next best chance for rain looks to be a late day on Friday heading into the evening. It's going to feel a little bit stickier on that day as well. Pick of the weekend, Saturday, before we have a chance for rain, yes, for your Easter Sunday. So start your planning now. A little bit cooler heading into next week. All right, let's see what the plans are for your morning commute. Slow or on time?
It's a slow one, that's for sure. This could be I-77 coming in York County. We aren't seeing any huge delays. It's kind of just what we would typically see just before 8 o'clock this morning. My map's still showing lots of delays, and especially this one here, I-85 northbound. There's a crash there at exit 23. Another one here at Still Creek Road at South Tryon Street. I'm covering everything for you this morning over on WCNC Plus. Hope to see you over there soon.
Streaming live right now at 8 o'clock right here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. In just a few moments, we'll be listening in on Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's latest press conference on the war in Iran. This is a live look there. When this, of course, starts, we'll bring it to you live here on WCNC Plus.
But first, we are following several breaking stories this morning on WCNC Plus. First in Uptown, CMPD investigated a shooting at an apartment complex on West 5th Street near Johnson and Wales University.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live at that scene on West 5th Street. So, Richard, it looks like the scene has cleared for the most part there. What have you been able to learn?
Yeah, Lisa, that's absolutely correct. Just in the last few seconds, actually, I can see police cars up the street, but the CSI is just leaving the scene. That just a couple moments before they left, they actually took some evidence from those open doors right there where that garbage bin is. They put it in a big box, of evidence, and then they drove off the other 4 cars that were here guarding this apartment complex. This apartment complex is MAA Gateway, where this shooting happened. Apparently, a man who may live on the third floor of this apartment complex, and where a man was shot. They evacuated the third floor residents of this apartment complex. As you take a look at video, those folks having to stand outside as police. There was a swarm of police cars there. The first thing you're seeing is that man who was injured, was shot, taken away to the hospital. Of course, a very hectic scene this morning. Now, over the last few hours, the police officers have left and they allowed the folks to come back into their apartments. We were able to speak to a number of residents, both on and off camera. Here's what one of them had to say. Take a listen.
What'd you see?
The cops at someone's door. I think they're probably just getting them out.
5 o'clock in the morning, you just heard a bang, and then literally heard a guy say the F word and out, 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 out. I thought it was outside, but someone just told me it was in the parking garage. And I don't know how he wound up on the third floor. The whole third floor is getting evacuated, and he was only one doorway down from me, and he was just laying on the ground saying ow, and I think somebody was helping him.
Yeah, the person who was helping him was actually helping where that he was shot. Of course, at this time, we're still working to find out more, including what they took out of that apartment, out of that garbage area over there, and any other information, including where the shooter may be, or if police are still looking for one, for that matter. When we get that information, we'll give it to you both here as well as on all of our platforms. We're right here in Uptown. This is Richard Devane off of West 5th Street. We'll send it back to you.
Richard, thanks. Also breaking this morning, Charlotte fire crews are on the scene of a house fire in northwest Charlotte.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards now live there at the scene on Birdwatch Lane. Destiny, what's the latest with that fire?
Yeah, this fire has been out for more than an hour now, more than several hours, I would say. But right now, the investigation is ongoing. You can see some damage there on the second floor. We're told by the homeowner that she noticed the fire outside the first floor. So right now, the cause, where this fire started exactly, all of that is still under investigation. But right now, it's just an investigation into the cause of this fire. We did see some firefighters inside combing through the evidence inside, trying to, clear through debris and make sure there were any hot spots that could spark this fire back up. But here's what the homeowner told us off camera, as she was definitely emotional about this happening.
Ran to get the fire extinguisher, but the fire was just coming too fast. So we all just ran outside of the house, and just so we could get out safely, and just watch the fire just.
Yeah, so she definitely says that she's glad that she and her family got out safely, but their dog is currently missing right now. So definitely a heartbreaking situation, not something that you want to wake up to. We also know that she told us that the fire was able to spread up to the second floor, went through the attic and out to the back as well, which is definitely reflected by the damage that we're seeing. But again, no word on the cause. We know the Charlotte Fire Department got this fire under control within 20 minutes. There were no injuries to firefighters or anyone else. But again, they'll be working for a while to determine what caused this. And when we get that information, we'll be sure to relay it to you right here as well as online. But for now, live in Northwest Charlotte, I'm Destiny Richards, WCNC Charlotte.
Destiny, thanks. Right now, we're going to go live to the Pentagon, where the Defense Secretary is now speaking. Let's listen in.
Purpose and their commitment to the mission. I witnessed sheer competency. I watched a private first class confidently calling out an enemy missile trajectory to a room full of officers. Everyone focused. The room was locked in. 2 enemy missiles successfully shot down. I spoke to Air Force and Navy pilots on the flight line, who every day both deliver bombs deep into Iran, but also shoot down drones defending their base. Many had just returned from the skies of Iran and Tehran. I put on a headset and spoke to one crew in the cockpit, locked and loaded, each and every day. I witnessed ingenuity, American ingenuity. I met the young Army officer who figured out how to neutralize maneuvering enemy missiles, saving countless lives. His commander confirmed that the whoops and cheers erupted in the Tactical Operations Center when his new approach was first successful. I met the Air Force intel analyst who refines target packages faster than the enemy can adapt. I actually gave him my card and told him to keep me posted on the ground truth. I did the same with his boss, a colonel with a heart the size of Texas and a beautiful deployment mustache to match. I witnessed lethality. I met a junior airman as the sun was going down and a chill was setting on the tarmac, who, when asked what they needed, she simply looked up at me with a sly smile on her face and said, "More bombs, sir, and bigger bombs. We will happily oblige her." I met the Army targeting team who found and sunk the pride and joy of the Iranian Navy, their fighting position plastered with images of sunken enemy ships. And I witnessed urgency. Right when we landed, another C-17 landed just minutes after us. And within 30 seconds of the aircraft coming to a full stop, a team on the ground pulled up and the cargo was being uploaded. Wartime speed. To a man and to a woman, on the ground, in the air, on the flight line, and in the TOC, I heard, "We want everything faster, higher op tempo, wartime speed." The feeling was the exact opposite of the rotational units year after year in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan that we're so familiar with. In those wars, it was always about the next rotation, never knowing when the mission would end or exactly what the mission was, year after year. Not with epic fury. I witnessed urgency to finish the job, urgency to achieve mission success, not looking at the next rotation, only moving as fast as possible to win. I got a chance to troop the line, to witness firsthand what we already know is true. I spoke to all ranks and all services, none of whom knew we were coming. It was not rehearsed or scripted. Sometimes we just wandered. What I witnessed was motivation. It was sheer mission focus. It was the American warrior unleashed. It was the kind of warfighting American spirit that comes with a clear mission against a determined enemy. A crew chief we flew with summed it up nicely. He said, "It's been a busy few weeks, sir. Tough stuff. But I'm so honored to be called up. This fight is long overdue. We need to address it for our kids. We cannot pass the buck. Please thank the president from us." I heard that time and time again. I asked each young American, "What do you need?" And nobody said better equipment. Nobody said more comfortable living conditions. Nobody said send me home. Well, of course, eventually we want all those things. They do too. But what those Americans said to me, young and old, officer and NCO, male and female, black and white, was, "Let's finish the mission. Get us even more bombs, bigger bombs, more targets. Let us finish this." In fact, Admiral Cooper noted this morning that the 3 Air Force captains shot down by Kuwaiti-friendly fire early in the fight weeks ago. They never left the theater. All dropped bombs over Tehran last night. These men and women live the Iranian threat every day, incoming missiles and drones, and know what a world looks like, what the world would look like if Iran had the most dangerous weapons in the world, a nuclear weapon. As President Trump has said time and time again for years, and in this administration, Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb, and they won't. These troops, they want to finish this fight for their kids and their grandkids. This is about history. This is about legacy. Success matters. And because of this president and these Americans, we're closer than ever before to winning. President Trump is doing what no other president had the guts to do. Previous presidents were all talk. He's all action. On the battlefield, because of the latitude the president has given us, American firepower is only increasing. Iran's decreasing. We have more and more options, and they have less. Just 1 month in, only 1 month, we set the terms. The upcoming days will be decisive. Iran knows that, and there's almost nothing they can militarily do about it. Yes, they will still shoot some missiles, but we will shoot them down. Of note, the last 24 hours saw the lowest number of enemy missiles and drones fired by Iran. They will go underground, but we will find them. We recently destroyed another one of their command bunkers. Leaders forced to flee. No water, no power, no oxygen, no command and control. Their faith in their caves diminishing. The latest intel is clear out of CENTCOM. Our strikes are damaging the morale of the Iranian military, leading to widespread desertions, key personnel shortages, and causing frustrations amongst senior leaders. Just last night, we had 200 dynamic strikes alone. Dynamic strike is a strike where a pilot leaves, and during their flight, they get a new target set based on real-time intel given to them. A new launcher, a new location, a new troop formation. A dynamic target is one that changes while you're in the air because of improved intelligence. 200 dynamic strikes alone, in addition to the pre-planned targets. The video the president posted last night of Esfahan, an ammo depot struck by U.S. bombers. You see, you don't get to see many of those videos because, as a reminder, Iran has still shut off the internet to 99.9% of its population. But if Iran is wise, they will cut a deal. President Trump doesn't bluff, and he does not back down. You can ask Khomeini about that. The new Iranian regime should know that by now. This new regime, because regime change has occurred, should be wiser than the last. President Trump will make a deal. He is willing. And the terms of the deal are known to them. If Iran is not willing, then the United States War Department will continue with even more intensity. Standing here this morning in this briefing room, in my mind's eye, I'm actually looking out at the groups I met this weekend. The pilots, the logisticians, the intel analysts, the targeters, the sustainers, the flight crews, the air defenders, the base security, those maintainers who we walked up at sunset with the chill in the air on the flight line. May God watch over all of them each day and each night. May his almighty and eternal arms of providence stretch over them and protect them and bring them peace. In the name of Jesus Christ, and amen. Mr. Chairman, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, everyone, and thank you again for being here. As operations continue, I remain deeply grateful for the service and determination of 2.8 million members of our joint force, each of whom are serving something greater than themselves. Every day, those deployed, and in many cases, those at home who are deploying forward, and bomber pulses and others put themselves in harm's way, and we owe them a deep debt of gratitude. I remain especially grateful for our fallen who gave the ultimate sacrifice. We'll never forget their valor and their determination to do something greater than themselves. And each day we continue to earn what they've given to us. This morning I want to share that yesterday the Joint Force had the honor of participating in the burial of Colonel Clarence Emil Bud Anderson, who passed away in May of 2024 at the ripe old age of 102. He was laid to rest in Arlington Cemetery yesterday morning alongside his wife of 70 years, Eleanor, who he married on February 23rd, 1945. She passed away in 2015 at the age of 92. Bud, yesterday, a legend to our Air Force and fighter pilots everywhere, was honored with a combination flyby of F-35s and a four-ship of P-51 Mustangs. He was one of the most prolific flying aces of World War II and the highest scoring P-51 ace with 16 and a quarter kills in his squadron and in his group. And he served from 1942 to 1972, and his last combat tour was flying F-104 Thunder Chiefs over North Vietnam. For anyone that had the chance to meet Colonel Anderson, you knew what an incredibly special man he was. And that's true for each and every one of our World War II vets who become fewer and fewer with each passing day. They are the greatest generation and give us the gift of an incredible example as we execute Operation Epic Fury today. And Colonel Anderson, we mourn for your loss and remember that smile on the right side as you went out to do our nation's business. I'd like to now share an operational update. Our Joint Force continues to focus on our military objectives as we systematically continue to degrade and destroy Iran's ability to project power and threaten stability beyond its borders. First, the Joint Force continues to destroy Iran's ballistic missile and UAS capabilities. We remain focused on interdicting and destroying the logistical and supply chains that feed these programs. And this remains a truly joint effort prosecuted around the clock from air, land, sea, space, and cyberspace. Long-range bombers from U.S. Strategic Command are coordinating with tactical fighter aircraft from our Joint Force launched from bases around the region and the continental United States, while simultaneously Navy fighters from the sea and sailors continue to project power from the sea, while Army and Marine artillery units continue to execute long-range precision fires deep into enemy territory against high-value targets. Meanwhile, on the defense side, our Army and air defenders and aviators, as the Secretary talked about, remain vigilant, forming a shield to protect our forces and our partners, intercepting missiles and drones. Together, we continue to deliver precision strikes against key manufacturing nodes, component storage sites, research facilities deep within Iranian territory. And over the past 30 days, we've struck more than 11,000 targets. Given the increase in air superiority, we've successfully started to conduct the first overland B-52 missions, which allow us, as we've said before, to continue to get on top of the enemy and, as the Secretary talked about, switch towards more and more dynamic targets, servicing mobile targets around the battle space. We've continued to do the work against Iran's missile, drone, and naval production facilities, and we continue the multi-domain pressure that we've talked about. Second, on the Navy front, we continue to assert dominance over the Iranian Navy. We remain focused on targeting their mine-laying capability, their naval assets, and we've now, as I mentioned briefly last time, started to work attack helicopters and other close air support assets into the naval domain. CENTCOM continues to identify and work against naval depots and storage areas. And we've taken out, again, more than 150 ships, including all Jamaran-class frigates inside their Navy. Third, we continue to prosecute our campaign against our defense industrial base at scale. This includes factories, warehouses, nuclear weapons research and development labs, and the associated infrastructure required for Iran to reconstitute its combat capability. I'd like to continue my theme of highlighting the incredible contributions of Americans to our joint force. Today I want to talk a little bit about a different front line, a line that doesn't have bunkers or guard posts, but is just as critical to our nation's security, our National Assembly lines. Today I want to recognize a group of Americans who live at the beginning of our nation's combat power, the Americans who actually make our weapons, both inside our defense industrial base, but even more broadly inside our national industrial base. In every military option, we could not and cannot do our jobs without the men and women across our country who show up every day around the clock to a factory floor, a workshop, a laboratory, who build the weapons and capabilities we need to project American combat power at the time and place of our choosing. These great Americans, and I've had a chance to spend some time with them when I was in the private sector, are the core of American combat power. They're the machinists running high-tech CNC machines, cutting raw blocks of metal into incredibly precise parts. They're the assembly workers painstakingly taking a kit of parts and turning that into a complex guidance system or precision munition or a rocket motor or building a jet or submarine. Or they're quality assurance technicians who ensure that when a warfighter pulls a trigger, the weapon works every time. This can be and is tough and gritty work. It's not a quiet office and a desk with paper, and there's nothing wrong with that, but this is exactly the way this group of Americans likes it. I know this. I've seen it myself, and I remain deeply honored by that gift. It's often loud and dangerous work, demanding, requires absolute focus for hours at a time with deep commitment to get it right every single time. It's hands-on work where one uncaught mistake or deviation can put an American's life at risk. A single misplaced wire, a microscopic flaw in a weld, incorrectly calibrated sensor could mean the difference between mission success or mission failure. The difference is measured in the lives of our sons and daughters who we put out around the field and on the field of battle. We rely on and trust in these great Americans, and it's not just their manufacturing skill, it's their innovative minds and their entrepreneurial spirit. From those who build exquisite capabilities down to the mom and pop machine shops all over this great country, they live at the beginning of and the core of America's combat capability, constantly adapting, constantly improving, constantly learning. And there are examples of this throughout history and current days, to include building things like the F-117 stealth fighter, the B-2 stealth bomber, making our combat capability undetectable over the enemy, to today's B-21 and F-47. It's work like in the shipyards of the East Coast and Northeast side of the United States that go out and build America's nuclear submarines that allow us to patrol around the world at the time and place of our choosing. These innovators, these workers, these incredible Americans don't get the same glory as a fighter pilot returning to a carrier deck at night or an artilleryman sending rounds downrange, and yet they show up every single day, and without them, we could not do the work that we are tasked to do. 24/7, they build the tools that we need to do our business. The skill, the commitment, the patriotism, the dedication poured into every piece of combat capability and hardware is seen and felt out at the edge of the force, as the Secretary talked about those young bomb builders out in the desert that he had the chance to see. You can see it, you can feel it, and it's real, and we're deeply grateful. So to the American workforce out there, both inside our defense industrial base and in our national industrial base, thank you on behalf of the Joint Force. We carry the weapons that you build. We rely on the systems that you create, and the distance from that factory floor and that assembly line to the front line is incredibly short. Thank you. Keep it up. And to our adversaries out there, I remind you to beware of the American workforce. We continue to press forward in our military objectives. The Secretary and I remain deeply humbled by the spirit, tenacity, commitment, and grit of our 2.8 million member strong Joint Force. I want to, as always, thank the force and their families, and as always, remember our fallen. We carry with them and their names every day. Sir, I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two things. He didn't note it, but in memory of Colonel Bud Anderson, the chairman himself flew his F-16 to honor him recently. And thank you for highlighting the Defense Industrial Base, the Arsenal of Freedom. It's worth noting no one has rebuilt that Defense Industrial Base faster and with more purpose than President Trump in his first term.
We have been listening to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and General Dan Kane giving an update on the conflict in Iran, again, that's happening live this morning at the Pentagon. Right now, we're going to take a quick break, but make sure that you keep it right here, streaming live on WCNC Plus.
Well, good morning. Check it out. Lots of sunshine for today. Already up to 60 degrees. Enjoy it. 57 for you in Statesville and 58 in Salisbury. Yesterday we were at 73 degrees. Well, we're going to outdo that. Most of us just barely reaching the lower 80s. That means most of the afternoon will be in the mid to the upper 70s. So several hours warmer than what we had just yesterday. And then tomorrow, 84 degrees for the start of April. 83 on Thursday. Our next best chance for rain looks to move in on Friday. Our overnight lows very mild. Lower 60s starting tomorrow, and we keep that through the weekend. Our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Check it out. After this little run of 80s we have in the next 3 days, only the 70s with a better chance for rain on Friday. The best chance for rain right now, though, sadly, does look to be your Easter Sunday. Keep that in mind. Pick of the weekend, Saturday. All right, Majestic, what do people need to know this morning?
It's still busy out there, approaching 8:30 right now. I want to go over a couple of accidents that you'll want to know about before you head out the door. Here's one of the newest ones. The left shoulder's blocked because of it. Independence Boulevard West at North Sharon Amity Road. That's exactly where this one is. Second up, we have I-85 northbound at exit 23 is causing some delays inbound on I-85. And then still, we're looking at Still Creek Road at South Tryon Street where an accident was reported.
Thanks for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 8:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. We continue to follow breaking news in Uptown. CMPD is investigating a shooting at an apartment complex. Take a look. It happened on West 5th Street, right near Johnson & Wales University.
And that's where you find WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane, who has been live at that scene for quite some time now. The scene is clear, but you said that you were able to get some information.
Yeah, we're going to step out of the way, let you look right behind us at this scene here, actually stepping out of the way of traffic. We're right across the street from Johnson & Wales. This is the MAA Gateway apartment complex, and on the 3rd floor of this apartment is where this all seemed to have taken place. Now, as we look at video, around 5 o'clock, residents report hearing a loud bang. Several residents, actually 4 residents that I spoke to, reported seeing a man who had been shot, wounded on that floor. He was taken away, as you may see in that video, by ambulance to the hospital. At this time, police swarmed the building. I mean, locking it down and actually evacuating all the residents who lived on the a number of residents who lived on the 3rd floor near their apartment where they were searching. They were also searching something about the trash bin there on the bottom floor, but it was basically because of something that might have happened on the 3rd floor. We spoke to residents. Let's take a listen to what they had to say about what they heard and saw.
What'd you see?
the cops at someone's door. I think they're probably just getting them out.
5 o'clock in the morning, he just heard a bang, and then literally heard a guy say the F word and out, 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 out. I thought it was outside, but someone just told me it was in the parking garage. And I don't know how he wound up on the 3rd floor. The whole 3rd floor is getting evacuated, and he was only one doorway down from me, and he was just laying on the ground saying ow, and I think somebody was helping him.
Yeah, now we wanted to say that another resident off camera told me that he also saw the man on the floor. The man was telling that person who was applying pressure to his wound that he had stepped out and something by the garbage bin, that garbage bin you now see one of the workers actually closing, said that he was by that and that's where the shots happened. So we don't know. We did see CSI taking some evidence from that garbage area. They also told that worker if he sees anything or finds anything in that garbage bin to give them a call. Now that man was taken to the hospital. As the person who was the shooter, we don't know where that person is. We're still checking with CMPD to get that information. Of course, as we get more information, we'll give it to you both here as well as to all of our platforms. We're right here on for West 5th Street. This is Richard Devane. We'll send it back to you.
Thanks. Also breaking this morning, Charlotte fire crews on the scene of a house fire in northwest Charlotte.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards now live there at the scene on Birdwatch Lane. This is near Mount Holly Huntersville Road. Destiny, we can see firefighters actively right behind you.
That's right. The last of the fire crews here are actually packing up and wrapping up their on-scene part of the investigation right now. But we can see the damage on this home. Early this morning, we're told from one of the homeowners here that she saw the fire, heard the fire alarms this morning and saw the fire downstairs. And the fire crews here were able to wrap up this fire within 20 minutes. Thankfully, she and her family are okay. Firefighters are okay, no injuries in this fire, but the cause is still under investigation. Here's what we heard from that homeowner who was visibly emotional as I spoke to her about what happened.
Ran to get the fire extinguisher, but the fire was just coming too fast. So we all just ran outside of the house and just so we could get out safely and just watch the fire just.
Again, she and her family got out safely. For a while, their dog was missing, but we actually witnessed the reunion with their dog just several minutes ago. So their dog is okay. He had just ventured off whenever they got out of the house. So that reunion was very touching to see despite the circumstances here. Fire crews have officially left. Red Cross is on the scene to help this family. They were told that they could not go back inside the house. So we're seeing that the damage is very extensive, so that is definitely the case. But the fire cause is still under investigation. The family even says they don't know what caused this, so we'll continue to keep you updated with anything that we learn, including that cause. But for right now, live in Northwest Charlotte, I'm Destiny Richards, WCNC Charlotte.
Glad the family and the pet are all okay. Destiny, thanks for that. Police in Monroe say a man threatened his ex-girlfriend and then fired shots outside her home. Officers say Jorge Bonilla then took off from that scene in Monroe. He was later arrested at his home where investigators found the firearm they believe was used in the shooting. At last check, Bonilla is still in the Union County Jail facing several charges. In just hours, safety on public transportation will be back in the spotlight here in Charlotte. Today, a subcommittee of the Metropolitan Public Transportation Authority is going to meet to discuss future changes.
The Operations and Safety Committee's job will be to oversee safety, reliability, and accessibility to Charlotte's transit system. At today's first meeting, they'll review everything from security and emergency preparedness to overall service delivery. There'll also be an update on Federal Transit Administration's audit from February that flags certain areas for improvement.
CATS sent a corrective plan to the FTA and is now working through the feedback. Now, this meeting is mostly about building the foundation for the new committee, and it's the start of the process with more decisions expected in the weeks and months ahead. Today's meeting kicks off in less than 30 minutes at 9 o'clock this morning. The next meeting is scheduled for April 16th. Meanwhile, the city of Charlotte is working on its next budget, and today you have a chance to weigh in on how city leaders spend your tax dollars. City officials say community feedback is critical, especially as they decide how to fund key priorities like housing, public safety, transportation, and job growth. Residents can weigh in a few different ways, including a budget listening session that's set for today and an online survey that's open through April 6th.
The York County Sheriff's Office tells us that the Secret Service is now investigating a South Carolina woman accused of threatening the president. Investigators say last week they became aware of several social media posts made from her home in Greer that appear to threaten the president and his supporters. We're told they determined there was no credible threat. The person who made the post on social media previously lived in York County. At this time, no arrests have been made.
Today is the last day for Mecklenburg County residents to apply for energy assistance. The Low-Income Energy Assistance Program offers one-time payments of up to $500 to help cover heating costs. You don't have to be behind on your bill to qualify, but there are income requirements. Officials say more than 4,500 households have already been approved.
A Charlotte man says he did everything right, but still ended up without his car. Ryan Walton says he parked it a lot on DeWitt Lane in Lower South End Saturday night and paid for his spot using a mobile parking app. But when he returned hours later, his car had been towed. It was gone. He said he pleaded with the tow company that he had followed the rules, paying for a clearly marked Park Mobile's zone. He says the overall issue came down to signage that was not clearly seen.
There's a sign there that was blocked by another car that weekend, and I came through this entrance here, so didn't even see the sign there. It seems like towing companies are trying to make money off people that are being honest with the system.
Under state law, private lots in Mecklenburg County must have clear, legible tow-away signs at all entrances.
The time is now 8:38. Former South Carolina Governor and Congressman Mark Sanford is entering the race for his former congressional seat. He officially filed to run for South Carolina's 1st congressional district in the Republican primary. Sanford previously represented the Lowcountry for 6 terms in Congress and served 2 terms as governor. He says his main priority would be to tackle the national debt. The city of Gastonia will soon have a new fire chief. Monday, city officials announced that Deputy Chief Brad Best will take over on May 1st. Best has more than 3 decades of experience in the fire service. He will succeed Chief Phil Welch following his retirement. Welch has served as chief for more than 15 years.
Well, today is a delightful day, more sunshine than yesterday. Nice mix of clouds so far. 60 degrees, feeling great. It's amazing. I think it was actually last Tuesday that we didn't get out of the 50s, so you gotta take a day like today and enjoy it. And you can celebrate in multiple ways. It's also National Tater Day, National Crayon Day, National Bunsen Burner Day. That one's a little bit more specific, but also National Prom Day, kind of promoting that, hey, prom season is coming up. And then our temperatures are going to be quite warm, right around 81 degrees today, so enjoy that. 81 for Charlotte, 80 in Monroe, so not really a big difference across the area, even the lower 70s up in the high country. All right. You are seeing some specks of green right here. There's the slightest chance that we do have a developing shower during the, I would say, evening hours. I don't think a lot really pops up from this. Sometimes it can translate over to something simple. A darker cloud, meaning that maybe above our heads it's trying to rain, but it doesn't actually reach the surface. We're still pretty dry, but that we are starting to change that as more moisture is starting to blast in. For your Wednesday, we actually have a much better chance for showers and storms in western North Carolina and South Carolina. That eventually will try, keyword try, to push its way further off towards the east. So if you are watching from our mountainous counties, you have a much better chance for rain during the afternoon heading into the evening. But then I would say west of 321 is the better chance, a slight chance between 321 and I-77, and 10 to borderline, not even 20% chance the further east that you go. But we're blasting more moisture in overall coming out of the south and southwest. It's going to warm us up. And it's also going to give us a better rain chance. We're definitely seeing that heading into your Friday and then Easter Sunday. Oh no, because what's happening is Saturday is the pick of the weekend. So if you want to do any outdoor plans, that's definitely the day. Now, I know a lot of people like to actually do their Easter egg hunts. I physically do one for my dog each and every year, and of course JT now, and there is a chance for some morning rain and afternoon rain. Now, the best scenario here would be is if this front takes its time, but it is trending to arrive a little bit earlier. So first off, we have widespread rain, I think, to close out your Friday heading into the evening, even a chance for a thunderstorm. But this front here, seeing signs of rain by the early morning hours, and then I think it should be out of here by the evening. One of two scenarios is going to line up. Either we have more rain morning heading into the afternoon, or it's more afternoon or evening. I know a lot of people would maybe prefer afternoon or evening because you mainly do a lot of stuff during the Easter mornings, such as the Easter egg hunts and just going to church just in general. Once this front passes, it will be breezy and we will be cooling down. Highs only in the 60s early next week, but at least it's warm for the time being. Well, hopefully it's a little bit tamer compared to what we were talking about earlier. Majestic, what's the status?
Good morning, everyone. Well, it's still busy, but I would say it's starting to taper off just a bit as we're getting closer to that 9 o'clock hour. I-77 this morning, it's going to be slow, of course, if you're heading inbound. This is coming in from York County, making that morning commute in, perhaps from York County into Mecklenburg County. You can see color shaded there. A couple of things to mention, though. We do have an accident right here. The left shoulder is blocked because of it. It's on Independence Boulevard at Sharon Amity Road, seeing those delays starting to build. Just off to the west, this is in Gaston County. This is a combination of traffic that we typically have in combination of an accident, so a little bit of accident traffic. This is I-85 north at exit 23. We're seeing those impacts up through about exit 20 there, so we're seeing those delays if you're heading inbound on I-85. Another thing that's been ongoing for over an hour, still not completely cleared, and those delays are still out there. This is Still Creek Road at South Tryon Street, where we have a mix of yellow and oranges, just indicating that it is heavily trafficked right now, and we're seeing slower moving conditions because of that crash. Guys.
A major new study could change how heart attack survivors are treated for life. Why some patients may not need long-term medication. That's coming up next. The makers of popular GLP-1 drugs, Zepbound and Mounjaro, could soon be making and selling drugs discovered by AI. Eli Lilly announced it's partnering with InSilico for oral drugs discovered by InSilico's artificial intelligence model, Pharma.ai. The companies will also work together in research and development. Eli Lilly will pay InSilico $115 million upfront in that deal. A new study from the New England Journal of Medicine suggests people who've had heart attacks may not need beta blockers for the rest of their lives. It looked at those who were stable for a year and then went off the drugs. The researchers say they had no higher risk of death, another heart attack, or hospitalization for heart failure. The study contains data from about 2,500 adults over a 3-year period.
A math teacher is facing some serious charges after deputies say she brought illegal drugs onto campus.
Now parents and students are reacting as the case unfolds and the investigation continues. Here's Willie Danley with the latest.
Parents and students in Harnett County are in shock now that an Overhills High School math teacher is facing some serious drug charges. 33-year-old Joycelyn MacArthur has been charged with possession of a controlled substance with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver near a school, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of a controlled substance, and with having a taser on school property.
That's all the students were discussing all day long.
I spoke to a woman who worked with MacArthur. She tells me teachers are supposed to lead by example, and this is not something she wants students to think is acceptable.
She reeked of marijuana every single day. Her classroom reeked of marijuana every single day. This is nothing new. This has been an ongoing situation.
WRAL reached out to Harnett County Schools and received a statement that reads in part, "We take matters related to student and staff safety seriously. We're following established district procedures in addressing this matter. Harnett County Schools remains committed to providing a safe and secure learning environment." The educator I spoke to says MacArthur has a history of what she calls erratic behavior. And according to her, the administration at Overhills High tried to get rid of her on multiple occasions.
Our principal tried to fire this woman twice. He sent her home. The county office sent her back to the school.
Right now, the investigation is ongoing and more charges may follow.
That story from Spring Lake in eastern North Carolina. Right now, some live pictures of I-85. This is at mile marker 29 near Sam Wilson. When we come back, Majestic will have the latest on your traffic impact.
On this story, sprinkle time for a Tuesday tail wagger along with our friends at Animal Care and Control. Last week we featured Violet, and that happy dog still there, still waiting for a forever home. Let's bring on today's tail wagger. This is Smokey. What a treat he would be. Smokey is a great dog. He's a big guy, weighs right around 60 pounds. He is 8 years old. He is a great dog because he's house trained, he is crate trained, well behaved, knows commands, loves kids, and it's probably better if he's the only pet in the house, but that's okay because Smokey is something special. He is our tail wagger today. You can find him at Animal Care and Control. They're open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, both days, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Once again, let's take a look at him. This is Smokey. He's about 7 years old, weighs around 60 pounds. He's our very special Tuesday tail wagger.
During the month of March, we actually had more days that were more like April, May, and June than we're actually March-like, and that's a perfect recipe for a record March, and that's exactly what it was. It wasn't the hottest, but it was one of the warmest. Officially, third place is the way that this month is going to finish. 3 record highs during this stretch, and the blue tiles represent below average days. We only had 7 of those, 1 that was perfectly average, and all the rest are red, and we're going to add 1 more red block to the mix because today our average high should be in the upper 60s. Instead, we're getting enough strength to get into the lower 80s, feeling more like May, so continuing that warmer trend. Here's the official top 5. Now, this number will fluctuate slightly, but we'd have to be 100 degrees to even come close to catching up to the number 2 spot, so that's not happening. So instead, we will finish at the 3rd spot. We're also not going to be cool enough to drop down to the number 4 spot. So the 3rd warmest March is official, but another top 10 is actually hit. We should typically have close to 4 inches of rain when March is all said and done. Instead, we had less than 1.5 inches. So this officially is going to finish as the 8th driest March that we've had in Charlotte history. And the first March of record keeping dates back to 1879. That's substantial. Another thing that luckily isn't record breaking, but definitely it's hitting its peak, is the pollen. Pine, oak, ash, sweet gum, mulberry, maple, birch, willow, and walnut are all the big ones across the area. This list keeps on getting longer and longer. The good news I have for you, it's typically this time of year, I would say over the next 10 days, we will hit our worst allergy day. So after this, not saying that all of a sudden you can wash your car. It's still about 2 weeks that we're dealing with more of that yellow that's still sputtering around. But by the end of April, a lot of people have been asking questions, when can I wash my car? Well, you can rinse it now. You need something to kind of get it off because a lot of it adheses onto the car, but just letting you know, at least we're getting to that peak, so that's helpful. And speaking of the peak of this week in the short term looks to be Thursday. It's really driven by winds and or rain. We have some rain chances. That's going to help kick us down right as we hit our usual seasonal peak. That's around April 7th. That's exactly when we did it yesterday. So just letting you know, it's another high for our allergy count for today going forward. Just a few extremes here and there, but at least we're heading towards the peak. Doesn't mean that we're close to done, but at least we're near the top. So that's the good news I have for you, silver lining. Let's see if there's any good news for our morning commute. Majestic, take it away.
It's still busy out there. Let's get to a few important accidents that you'll want to know about as you're heading out this morning. This one here has been ongoing for the last 45 minutes, and I'm still seeing quite a bit of orange and red with it, meaning that your travel will be impacted if you take this way. This is an accident that is now pushed over to the shoulder, so it is on the shoulder, so that's helpful. It's on Independence Boulevard, though, so you know how it is this time of the day. It's always very busy right at North Sharon Amity Road. That's where that accident is being reported. Another one just south of 485. It's also the left shoulder that's blocked. It's at Ardrey Kell Road, so you'll see those delays starting to build. Once we're heading to the west, this is Still Creek Road right at South Tryon Street, where we're really seeing delays, especially coming in from the north. And then Arrowwood Road east at Nations Ford Road, so not on I-77, but right next to it. That is our newest accident that we're following for you this morning. Live camera look to Society 5 as we're looking towards mile marker 31 out near Little Rock Road. We'll have another update for you coming up soon. Guys.
All right, Majestic, things approaching 8:55 now. Time for us to take a quick break. But make sure that you keep it right here on WCNC Plus. At the top of the hour, our Jane Monreal takes over from our live Impact studio. She's going to have Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden on this morning. They'll be discussing the No Kings protests that happened over the weekend and other topics. Make sure that you don't miss that. Streaming live here on WCNC Plus.
Let's get to an allergy report real quick. A high level of tree pollen today for some of the usual suspects, such as oak, maple, and pine, are the big three. We'll be back to an extreme level come Thursday. Lighter winds will kick this down for your Wednesday. Right now we're at 62 degrees, not too bad. High temperatures today reaching the lower 80s, so enjoy that. That means we're in the 70s most of the afternoon. That's going to be a significant difference compared to what we had just a day ago. We had a high of 73, 81 today. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. At times, an hour might be cloudier than the others. And then more on the cloudy side for your Wednesday. That's also the spike, the peak, 84 degrees for your April 1st. And then boom, our next big rain chance. That'll be on Friday. Friday late day heading into the evening with highs in the 70s. Best chance for rain, though. Hate to say it. Easter Sunday, much cooler after that. All right, Majestic, one last traffic report.
All right, good Tuesday morning, everyone. This is what I-85 looks like right now. Mile marker 46 out near Mallard Creek, where traffic is flowing just nice and smooth. Haven't seen any huge problems out there today, although we do still have quite a few accidents that are ongoing. This one here, it's over to the shoulder, so the shoulder's blocked. It's right there on Independence, right near Sharon Amity Road. And then this accident, Ardrey Kell Road, that's just south of I-485, where delays are building.